How can a simple visa mistake in the UAE completely derail your life, trapping you in thousands of dirhams of debt? And what happens when the system puts a permanent black mark on your name, flagging you as an absconder? Let's get into it. You know, these aren't just what-if scenarios. For a lot of people, this is a real, harsh, and very expensive reality. A simple overstay on a tourist visa can spiral into a debt you can't pay. Getting flagged as an absconder can shut doors for you across the entire region. Take a look at this. This is a real post from someone caught right in the middle of this exact mess. They came here as a tourist, worked under the table to save some money, but the fines started piling up faster than they could earn. Now they're hit with 2 different penalties, and they're completely lost. We're going to use their story to break this whole thing down. All right, first up, that 12,000 dirham fine. Where did that number even come from? Well, it was a direct result of overstaying a tourist visa. But believe it or not, that was only half the problem. They were also slapped with an absconding fine, which is a totally separate and much more severe violation. And this is absolutely critical to understand. This isn't one big issue, it's 2 distinct problems. Overstaying is one thing, absconding is another. They're triggered by different actions, they're handled by different government bodies, and they each come with their own set of serious consequences. If you don't get the difference, you can't possibly navigate the system. So, what is the actual legal difference between these 2 violations? To really get a handle on the risks, you have to know exactly what the system's looking at. Okay, look at it this way. Overstaying is pretty simple. It's about time. Your visa expired and you're still here. The main authority you're dealing with is immigration. That's the GDRFA. Absconding, though, that's about sponsorship. That's when you abandon your sponsor, whether it's your boss or a travel agency, without going through the proper channels. And that brings in another player, the Ministry of Human Resources, or MORI. To be crystal clear on this, overstaying is just being physically present in the country after your legal permission has run out. Simple as that. The moment your visa and any grace period are done, you are officially breaking immigration law. Absconding is way more specific. It's not just about time, it's about disappearing from your legal sponsor. If you're an employee and you just don't show up for 7 days straight without a word, your company can file an absconding report. And for a tourist, like the person in our story, the travel agency that got them the visa can file that same report if they don't leave on time. Why? Because that agency is legally on the hook for them. And this is where things get really serious. Once you're flagged in the system for either of these violations, you're basically put on a digital blacklist. It's a permanent mark on your record that follows you everywhere. This is the number that kicks it all off, 50 dirhams. That is the flat, non-negotiable fine for every single day you overstay. For the person we're talking about, 240 days of overstay multiplied by 50 dirhams a day, that's exactly 12,000 dirhams. It adds up, and it adds up fast. But trust me, the fines are just the start. The penalties escalate quickly. An absconding report alone can get you a 1-year labor ban. You get blacklisted in the UAE immigration database, which means no more visa applications for you. And that blacklist can spread across all GCC countries. Then there's deportation, which is often followed by a permanent, lifetime ban from ever coming back. Oh, and if you were an employee, you can kiss any end-of-service benefits goodbye. Now, the system does have some checks. Employers can't just file these reports whenever they feel like it. If they file a false or malicious report, they can be fined up to 5,000 dirhams themselves. This is to stop companies from using the system to punish people unfairly. After hearing all that, the most important question you should be asking is, where do I stand? So let's walk through exactly how you can check your own legal status using the official government websites. So, are you in the clear? It's a question you have to ask, because saying I didn't know about a fine or a flag won't get you anywhere. The good news is there's a very direct way to find out for sure. The process is actually pretty straightforward, and you can do it yourself online. You just go to the official GDRFA or ICP Smart Services portal. Find the service called Fines Inquiry. You'll pick your file type, whether you're a resident or you're on a visit visa, and then you plug in your details, like your passport number. The system will tell you instantly if there are any fines against your name. All right, let's say you check, and you find a problem. A big one. An absconding case. Huge fines. It's a terrible situation for sure, but it's not always the end of the road. There is a path to getting cleared, but it is not easy. To get an absconding case removed, you've got a few options. The cleanest way is to negotiate with your original sponsor and get them to withdraw the report. If that's not possible, or if the report was unfair, you can appeal directly to Mahore, but you better have solid proof. We're talking medical records, proof you resigned properly, things like that. But no matter what, you have to pay every last dirham of your overstay fines to clear your immigration file. And for anything complicated, you need a lawyer. Period. Now, you might hear about people just waiting it out, hoping the government announces an amnesty program that will waive all the fines. Look, this is a massive gamble. Yes, amnesties have happened before, but they are rare and they are never guaranteed. And every single day you wait, those fines are still ticking up, and the risk of getting caught and deported gets higher and higher. At the end of the day, the only guaranteed way to avoid this entire nightmare is to not get into it in the first place. So let's cover the simple, proactive steps you can take to make sure you stay on the right side of the law. For you, the individual, the rules are pretty straightforward. Know your visa expiry date and grace period down to the day. If you have to leave a job, do it officially, with a written notice. Never ever work without a valid permit. Keep copies of everything, your contract, your visa, your passport, and this is the most important one. If you're in a bad spot with your employer, don't just run. File a formal complaint with MOHRE. That's what protects you. And the responsibility isn't just on you. Employers and sponsors have rules to follow too. They need clear policies. They have to track visa dates. They are supposed to make real documented attempts to contact you before filing a report. The system demands that they act responsibly and cancel visas on time when someone leaves. Which brings us to one last crucial question. In a system with so many rules, with obligations on sponsors and enforcement by the government, who is ultimately responsible for making sure you are here legally? The system gives you the tools, but in the end, that responsibility rests entirely on you.